Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to yet another Rendezvous with Nandita, Brandify Take One Rendezvous with Nandita. This time I have with me a very dear friend, Farida Khan. Now, for those of you who are living in Chennai, would know her by the brand Akab or FIDA, the design school. Most of you would have interacted with her. Some of you would have seen the brand right opposite Pachiappa College, the famous college, and the bigger famous brand right opposite Pachiappa is Vida. But for me personally, I think Farida is a bigger brand behind the two brands that she's established in Chennai. A woman entrepreneur par excellence and a very, very dear friend. So it is a pleasure to have her here on the show with me. And let me welcome Farida for all of you. Hi, Farida.
Hi, Nandita.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. And that was a lovely introduction. I'm so honored and happy to hear that.
Thank you. You deserve it, Farida. I think when we talk of couture fashion, when you talk of high-end fashion in Chennai, Akab is the name that comes to our mind, of course. But before that, you are one who creates a lot of designers in Chennai. So before I talk about the brands that you talk about, I want to ask you, what is brand Farida all about?
I would say what you see is what you get,
Okay.
and what I say is what I do. So I talk less, I do more.
Okay.
I think that's about
Uh-huh.
it.
So, Farida, I agree with you. So, people who don't know you, or typically who've interacted with you, know that you are a woman of action. Uh, you've do more than you say, like you rightly said. And a lot of people believe Farida is a workaholic. Farida is somebody who's not very approachable. But if somebody really knows you, they know that you can be a lot of fun to be with. So,
You know it really well, Nandita,
what do I know really well, Farida?
that I can be fun.
Oh, we have stories, and I want to share those stories, the fun stories that we've had. But what has your journey been like? Was because you are from the city, so what is
Hmm.
easy for you to establish a brand here, or how did it go about?
See, I think when a person is in the city doing something for a very long time, as long as 12 years now, when I started Fida the Design School in
Yeah.
2008, actually, 2009, we established as a brand. Um,
Okay.
it's not been very easy, but it has been very satisfying, I would say.
Okay.
Um, I'm from a very typical conservative Muslim family. You're from Lucknow,
Okay.
you should know better
Yeah.
how conservative Muslims are. And it's been
Sure.
a struggle trying to make people understand that I work in the industry of fashion and design. Design is something that I have liked a lot right through my school and college days, and I've
Okay.
been very fond of it. And so I think eventually I would have landed up something connected to fashion and design only. Though I started off as an interior designer in the
Yes.
year 2002, I established alongside my friend, and I started my practice of interior design for almost 6, 7 years. We were doing really well,
Mm-hmm.
but again, the struggle was to get the payments through. Like
Okay.
my somehow I was not able to ask people for payments. I would get a lot of projects. I would work for them day and night, and I would be
Okay.
sitting
Huh.
with my designs, working with the carpenters, running around, getting everything done. When it came to the
Okay.
payment, I was so tongue tied asking them for money. I don't know, somehow, my upbringing was like that. We never spoke about much of money and all that. Later on, I went on to realize when I started my business, so that shouldn't be the case. You should ask and get paid first. So that was a bad experience, not bad experience, but it's something I learned out of.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like almost 6, 7 years of my practice, and then I thought, my money is not coming back. What is? Then I started teaching design. That is
Oh,
when I
okay.
started off with INIFD, and that was very fulfilling. I had a set of students who went on to become very good interior designers. And
Wow.
then slowly my interest went to fashion, which I was back in my college very
Yes, I'm
fastidious.
reading that Fashion Guru of Ethiraj.
So, people used to like the way I dress and all that, and somehow came along the interest, and so it was the institute. So interiors and fashion was being taught there. I did it very passionately, and it was a lovely journey so far. It is a lovely journey so far.
I'm sure, because I see you do it with so much of passion. But what was intriguing about me, and I will share this to our viewers, that whenever I get lost in business, I am quite like Farida was when she started her interior design. I can't ask people for money. So whenever Farida and I have conversations, she's the one who will tell me, okay, are you monetizing it? What is the money that you're getting for whatever you're doing? And to hear this from you is quite interesting, because that tells me, okay, someday I'll also reach there when I can ask my clients, okay, it's time to pay up, guys.
I know that that's a difficult situation. And they are friends and they know you already well.
Yeah,
They come,
exactly.
they know that you come from rich families, and why is she asking for money? I mean, there is a kind of fiction involved. Somehow there is a friction like asking about money. I think that is something very majorly all entrepreneurs should learn. At the end of the day, you are there. It might be your purpose of life, or it might be your mission or a vision to run a business for certain things. But at the end of the day, you have to take something home.
True,
Um,
very true.
that is
But
very important.
I think, Farida, would you attribute not asking money, and because I can relate it to myself very well, based, on your upbringing per se, because in our families we were never taught as maybe I don't know, as women, or maybe as to ask for something. So where do you attribute this whole thing to?
So I think basically we come from families where everything is provided for. You never had to ask, and even when you ask, it is only for some very important things, or it's not like casually you're spending it off or anything like that.
Hmm.
So women usually don't involve in topics concerning money, and that is something I learned really hard as a business person. How financially educated you should be. I mean, I used to run away from accountants and tax people and all that. I did not understand GST for close to almost a year. Then I had to actually sit down, learn, understand, talk to people who are taking care of my accounts. It was a struggle, but finally, I would say I have learned quite a bit now.
So are you going to start taking classes on that?
No way. Keep me away from numbers.
Oh,
But
really?
numbers do excite me. Numbers do
Yes, that's
excite
what I
me.
was
It's
saying. Oh,
very bad.
really?
No, not the calculation bit, but I mean, if I'm seeing Sachang, something happening, okay, I'm going to earn that kind of money. Okay, that will motivate me for sure.
So that brings me to the next question. What actually motivates you? Because I see you spending a lot of time. You do, do very hard working in business, do a lot of work, but you also spend a lot of time with your children on holidays. I see that
Yes,
also. So what
yes.
motivates you is my question.
So that exact dream is the one that motivates me to make money.
Okay.
Being able to travel. Travel is
Okay.
my biggest passion. I
Mm-hmm.
love to travel, and
Okay.
it's that dream of mine that I want to see the world. I want to travel a lot. I want to see every corner of the world. I want to have the best of experiences. So that is a dream that motivates me to earn. At the same time, I do have a purpose which I sort of explored and understood over a period of these 8-10 years, that
Okay.
teaching my students to be
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurs. I think financial independence for any woman is
Mm-hmm.
very, very, very important. That brings a different kind of confidence in you. Let me tell you, I am from a very conservative family. Hardly two or three of us among all my cousins work.
Oh,
Others
okay.
are no way it is disrespectful, but I mean, they come from families who do not allow people to work. So it has been a struggle, even among my cousins and my family. It was not easy initially when I started off 2009-10. Do you remember the movie Fashion? Priyanka Chopra and all that, that had
Yeah.
come up. And one cousin of mine from somewhere, he called, Didi, are you working in this kind of an industry? It looks like very crazy. Are you sure? Why are you going to these fashion shows? Even I had to literally educate all of them. Okay, fashion is a lot of hard work. It is not just
I,
about the glamour that you see. There is a lot of hard work that goes on behind. And even my students, at the end of the year, they put on a collection for a show. It is the 3 years they have struggled. They have learned so much. My teachers, they work so hard. I mean, the entire team, it's for one garment to go on the ramp, there is hours and hours of work that has gone behind that garment, which is
Sure.
shown on the ramp for 2 minutes. So it is a lot of hard work. People don't get to see that. They see only the glamour in the front.
Yeah, I know. I've seen you work with your students also. I've seen you behind the stage before your fashion shows. And I think for the last couple of years, be it in the best fashion shows in Chennai, your students have been a part of them. In fact, I hear you do a lot of things on your own. So tell us something more about, you empowering the girls and, making them more equipped to handle these kind of things.
Yeah, see, there are a lot of girls who come from families again with very conservative mindset. I literally have to talk to their parents saying that we will take care of your child, because the fashion shows happen till very late in the night, and the children are there with us. We make sure that they get back home on time. There are parents who are very scared for them. So
True.
literally, we'll have to give them that kind of an assurance. Okay, you are taken care of, and there are a lot of parents who are afraid to get their kids into this industry in the first place.
Okay.
It's something okay, and there is a lot of negative things that people talk about, models, everything. But for me, fashion world has been beautiful. It has a lot of people who are very genuine. There are some miscreants, like they're always there in all the industries. So
True. All industries have their own set of issues.
and the students, the ones who work really hard, they definitely shine through. A little bit of hand holding happens, and if they have any issue, they come to me. There is a student who got through a master's degree recently in Milan. She called up and told me, ma'am, I'm so happy that you guided me for this. There is another girl who got into a master's degree in NIFT. It's very nice. The ones who really work hard and who approach us for help, and we help them through, to see them in a good place always makes you happy. It's like, I just don't have two kids. It's like all the kids of Vida are mine.
I'm sure.
I feel very close to them. I feel for them. I can understand. And that has been what I have been striving hard for. When a student comes to me, I feel like, they have to get the best. And it's not been easy, Nandita. To bring in a brand like, an association like, say, LSD, that is London School of Design, or London School of Trend, a lot of things, Lakme Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, London Fashion Week. See, these associations take time to get formed.
Sure.
It's a lot of hard work to get them into Chennai and actually educate the students the importance of it. That is the difficult part. We will tell them, you're going to be part of New York Fashion Week. Now, I need to educate them about what is New York Fashion Week, what is the opportunity, how is it like, you're getting it, and how useful it is going to be for your future, everything. So a lot of educating happens just beyond the classrooms.
I'm sure, because, I see you as one woman. So when I think of, I remember meeting you years, I think 5-6 years back. And yes, you were very smartly dressed. You were very, elegantly dressed. Let me use the right word. Okay. And somebody told me she's from the fashion industry. I said, doesn't look, because she's too serious, too non-glamorous, I'll use that word, to be from the fashion industry. But I think you've made a very strong name for yourself in the way you present yourself, in the way you're very determined. You're not a flippy floppy kind of a person. When you talk, you mean business. Okay. I've seen you talk business. I've seen you as a friend. That's a separate part we're going to talk about a little later. And our Bombay trips, right? That special Bombay trip of ours. So, but the whole idea is, was it easy to maintain this kind of an image in an industry where everything is only about, glamour and, I'm not, again, an image again about skin show. So I see you very, very elegantly dressed. And it's not only me. People who know you would say the same words for you. So how difficult or easy was that?
It's very easy to get carried away in the fashion industry, believe me. There is a lot of peer pressure. People are so confident. As you said, like, you can dress the way you want. Nobody is going to judge you and all that. But what happens is, like, very well about personal branding. The way you dress, what you do stands for what you are.
Yeah.
So I would not want anybody to misinterpret me or look at me and think any differently than what I am. So I think I consciously created that brand for myself. That I mean business. I am here for work, and I'm not usually seen in my own fashion shows. After the end of it, the bow out, I am out of there. I'm not there for any of the after parties.
That's why I've seen you
Yeah,
that way.
I would
So,
be the one who's organizing it also, but you would never see me in an after party. I think that comes from,
huh.
see, I represent a very conservative community. I'll have to say that. I see it very easily reflects whatever I do reflects, and I
Hmm.
wouldn't want anybody to talk anything bad about it. So I feel responsible for my actions. Definitely, yes.
Beautifully said. You feel responsible for your actions. And like you said, it is all about how you want to brand yourself. And I think it's very obvious that you're very conscious about the kind of brand that you want to create for yourself. So I'm going to ask a question related to that to you, Farida. What
Yeah.
is the brand that you want to create for yourself? There is a brand, Farida, yes, but what is it
Yeah.
that you want is what I want to talk about.
I would say brand Farida is somebody who is willing to work towards the destiny that she wants. I want to define the way that I live. I think by God's grace, I have worked on getting the power of
Hmm.
being a person that if I wish to do something, I can definitely do it. It's all about your mental strength. I think I want people to look at me as a powerful woman, not in the sense of anything else but the inner strength.
Okay. And that I think you depict beautifully.
Thank you.
Okay, Farida, who inspires you?
As I said, my dreams are very big. Believe me, I have dreams of a beautiful world. When we started off sustainable line for Akab, I feel very passionate towards such things. We work with Fashion Revolution India, where, we educated our students about how a sustainable living is very important now. So I feel
Okay.
very close about it. There are certain things about which I feel very passionate. It's about sustainability, about, a beautiful world. I don't know, it might seem like a cliche, but these somehow along the line, when you are finding your purpose and you work towards it, you never get tired. So it's my dream. One, I want to see the world. I want to travel a lot more than what I do right now. Second is I want to bring a lot of purpose and financial freedom to the girls who are with me. Not just the girls, anybody who's coming to me and asking for help and all that. Two are things that I'm very passionate about.
Okay. Okay, moving on. I have been a part of a program where did write down your vision, and I think we co-created in one of the programs that we were
Yeah,
together,
yeah.
made our vision board. So, if I ask you to define that vision in a statement or a sentence, what would that be? You
I
said
think
empowering people, yes, but if in a sentence, what would that be?
that one line is to educate and empower women to find financial freedom through creative pursuits. That is majorly through design and the industry connected to design.
Beautiful.
That is the my
So,
vision.
beautiful. What made you start Akab in Chennai? Yes, you were teaching and there were a lot of stuff, but I remember you talking about Akab long back before you launched. And
Yeah.
what made you start Akab here in Chennai? And what does it mean? And what was the thought process behind it? And how does it represent you? I want to ask that because it does represent you for me when I look at Akab. There's a synonym I can find between Akab and Farida. So how does it?
Yeah. So Akhab in Arabic, in Persian exactly means an eagle. So I very closely relate to an eagle. I think it's all about the attributes of an eagle flying high. And there is also something very important. It's called
Hmm.
an eye for detail. Whenever I used to shop in Chennai, though
Ah.
we have beautiful, fabulous stores in Chennai,
Hmm.
somehow I wouldn't get the kind of a variety that I'm looking for. Somebody wants to dress fusion wear, or somebody is looking for something a little, what do you call, different, hatke and whatever. So somehow the conservatism in Chennai, they do not experiment much. But things have changed a lot these days. Of course, there
Yeah.
are a lot of young girls who do experiment a lot. But I thought there is an opportunity for me to create that place where, like, you can find garments that are a little more experimentative, and I could afford to do that because I had connection with people from Lakme Fashion Week. I could, like, call a few designers and just say, please send your clothes, let me try out if Chennai is liking it. So
Mhm.
that's how I was able to get a lot of good designers in Chennai. And these are the ones, not just the established names, these are the ones who are just starting off. And I think they are the ones who need a platform like Akha.
True.
Like, I mean, it cannot be unless you are in at least two, three stores, only then I will keep your clothes. Nothing like that. If they are good, if they have been innovative and nice, and I think that is what even the government is doing right now, Make in India, vocal for local. हम तो vocal for local 2017 से ही है.
I know. In fact, I must share with the listeners or viewers here. When I was launching my book in 2018, I approached Farida. I said, Farida, I want something different, and Farida knows I want to always do something different. So she said, I'll design something for you, and I left it. A week before she got busy, she was traveling, I got busy. And I think 4 days before, Farida, I remember,
Yeah, I
I came
know.
back to her and I said, Farida, I don't have clothes. Everybody had called me for the book launch. What they would be wearing, but my clothes were not finalized. And Farida very beautifully took out a piece of garment and she said, you're only wearing this. And I think it fitted in beautifully.
Yeah,
And
you're looking
the night,
gorgeous.
yeah, I don't know. The point was the night before I went and I tried on the garment, a little fitting here, there. And she asked me, what watch are you wearing? I said, I haven't thought of that. And I remember that was attention to detail, earrings and all. Yes, we finalized what watch would go with this, with Farida's level of detailing. And I think that is so, so beautiful. And she ensured that I had the right watch, the right makeup, who's doing your makeup, what is your hair going to look like. And I think that look, if you say I was looking gorgeous, Farida, thank you so much. It goes to you because the kind of effort that whole, I think for 3 hours we sat at your store. And my whole look for the next day evening was decided the previous night with Farida and saying, okay, we need this, this is how it will happen. This is the designer, this is what happened. So I think I'm amazed at the level of detailing that you go to ensure that whoever comes to you gets a simply wow experience. I think that is beautiful. Yeah. So, oh, I'm sorry. I think there's something wrong. 1 second, guys. Studio. Okay. So somebody's entered the studio by mistake. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So that is what we are talking about. So I also have with me some people here, Farida, who know you extremely well. Okay. And before I bring them on and they talk about you, I would like to share a very different side of Farida to all of you. So, Farida, tell me before that, what are the 3 words, okay, 3 values which are your non compromise values?
I think integrity about whatever I do. Like, I mean, unless I am in it with all my heart, I wouldn't step up and do anything.
Okay.
Second is adding value to whatever I do. I mean, in case anybody even buys something from me or they have come to me for any service or anything, I
Mm-hmm.
even if people spend time with me, I feel like I have to give them value for that time. So
Okay.
these are 2 things, yes,
Mm-hmm.
very important to me. Now the third one, there are so many things now I'm not able to immediately think of. But I feel the connection matters, relationships. That
Yeah.
matters to me a lot. There was once a time I would be very strict with my people, like, I mean, I would get very irritated when things don't get done and all that. Over a period of
Ah,
time, I explored and understood I need to have some empathy. I think that was very much missing in me. I wouldn't
okay.
understand, like, somebody says, I can't come, I can't do this. Oh, why can't I come? Like, why, how can they be like this? And over a period of time, I understood, okay, I mean, empathy was one thing I missed for a long time.
Okay.
That is something now I have tried to understand people and empathize with them.
Wow.
So
So that
relationships
has been your
really
journey,
matter a lot.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It has been a lot.
Okay. So I do see you as empathetic. I do see a very different you when you talk about all these things. But I would like to hear from a friend of yours,
Okay.
okay, what she has to say about you. So I have with me Manju Mudit here. Manju is a positive life psychologist and a neuro-linguistic practitioner. She's a luxury brand host and a co-founder Skylife, a company into health platforms, events, and everyday living. I'm going to now invite Manju and let's see what she has to say about you. Hey, Manju.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Farida. Hi, Nandita.
So
How are
good
you,
to see
Manju?
you after a long time.
Fine, thank you. Yes, absolutely. Nice to be on the
So,
show with both of you.
Oh,
thank you for coming in, Manju. It was a pleasure to have you here with us. Yeah. Manju, how did you meet Farida?
Well, my connection with Farida dates to more than 12 years.
Okay.
Where am I clear? Can I be
Yeah,
heard?
yeah, you can be. Yeah.
I am heard. So I heard there's this person who runs a nice fashion school, but never got
Okay.
the opportunity to meet her.
Uh-uh.
And she heard about me, I heard about her, met her after a few years. Correct me, Farida, if I'm wrong anywhere.
hmm.
And she always wanted me in the recent past to do the brand hosting, which I declined due to some personal reasons.
Okay.
Thank God I did the brand hosting finally because she never gave up on me. And I did it. And yeah, that's one thing about Farida. If she likes you, she'll always be with you.
Yeah, true.
And December 2019,
Hmm.
I enjoy doing the brand hosting for a carp. It's
Okay.
really a wonderful store, and everything in that store feels what Farida's mind and an extension of Farida's personality is. It was very easy doing the brand hosting, and I knew her from that time even better. Now, that was the time where I knew her even better, and that's it. From there, I just took off with her, and it's been an amazing journey with her.
So, Manju, my question is, what are the words that you would use to describe Farida?
Superwoman,
Keyword.
Avenger, dynamic, a person full of integrity,
Okay.
feminine, strong,
Wow.
beautiful in her own way, very
Huh?
compassionate. You need to be close to Farida to know what she really is. She is
Hmm.
an example of still waters running deep.
Wow, Farida.
That's so
Yeah,
sweet.
and she's a woman who honors her word. I worked with many people.
Mm-hmm.
For me, working with Farida and knowing Farida is a blessing
Mm-hmm.
because she's always honest to her commitment. She doesn't say one thing, do another thing. And if I'm just running through my thoughts right now, it's such a pleasant atmosphere she creates. And one thing about her, she's cooler than me. I would be getting tense. Where is this? Where is that? And I'm just looking at her, and she's like, "Hmm, okay."
So, Farida is the
Nandita
coolest of your
also
thoughts.
knows about it. I remember Nandita when you were getting ready for your show. My God.
Oh, yes.
I had to calm her down. I was just like, I mean, it's okay, cool. It was like that.
I
I,
know. So,
yeah.
go ahead, Farida. You talk
No,
about
that's
it and
nice
hope.
because she's full of peaches and cream. I've heard of people being peaches and cream, but she is a giver. She's a giver. As
Yes.
you know, she's not just a taker. And when
Hmm.
you give internally. And Farida is that kind of woman. I'm not
Good.
a fan. I'm
Hmm.
truly blessed to have a genuine connection with her. And only when you be a fan, the affection is short lived, you know. Oh, fan and you're carried away. No. The
Hmm.
genuine lady, and if you know her deep, it's a relationship to keep ever. Farida, you're not surprised I'm on the show. You look like, oh, what is she?
I am just
You still
enjoying
gaze.
every word that you're talking, Manju, right
Huh.
now. Whatever you're saying. We
Okay.
never get to hear this in person, so it's nice.
True.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say, Nandita? You ask me.
No, so I want to ask you, you've been talking a lot about good things about Farida, right? Any specific story or incident that you remember which comes to your mind when you think of Farida?
You're saying I'm saying good things. So what do you want me to say?
No, I'm not asking you bad things. There are no. That's not what I meant, Manju. Anything to any story or any incident to talk about this is what I'm asking you.
Okay, you're asking me a story.
Or an incident that happened which you recall very vividly to say, hey, you know what, this is Farida and me.
I would, if it's an incident or story, I would talk about her generosity, her magnanimous heart, and making sure that nobody is left uncomfortable. If you're talking, her shop is a story. The way she carries her clothes and bag is a story. And she silently inspires a lot of students out there. I've been also as a judge because of my background and everything. And it's not just run-of-the-mill stuff her students do. I mean, just for me, Farida, her place, her boutique, her students, they make her story. They weave into her life beautifully. And you can make out, she doesn't command it, but they automatically, manifest their creative brains beautifully. I've never seen students really perfect. Next time, Nandita, you should be there. And have you ever seen the students' shows, what she does?
Yes, I have. In fact, I was telling you, Manju, last event when you were felicitated in her show, I reached up till there. I dropped something on my dress and I took a U-turn in front of her studio and I came back. So I still regret that. She does amazing shows. I've seen her backstage also. I've not only seen her on stage, I've seen her backstage. And when you say she's calm and quiet, I can relate to that because Farida, if you recall, you used to say that I'm very calm before my training programs and when I go up on stage, and I used to tell her, you haven't seen me. And I remember my book launch, there were things which were not happening on the ground floor and I was getting ready and she was there as a friend. And also she walked the ramp for me that day. I think one of the few times Farida has walked the ramp.
Long years.
Yeah, you remember that, Farida?
Yes, of course. Once in a lifetime kind of an experience it was.
So, things were not going right. And everybody was telling me to calm down. And I exploded. And everybody in the room, there's 6 of us, of them, quiet. Then it was only Farida who came next to me. She said, why don't you just sit? I think that will do you good. And I think the way she said that, I actually sat down. I said, okay, guys, do my hair now. So I think she has that calming effect. And she is a person, for me also, who stands by friends. So when you say that, I can completely relate to what you're saying, Manju. She's like there.
She's a woman who keeps to her word.
Very true.
And she's a go-getter. She's a fighter. She's a go-getter. And we can't call her Jhansi Ki Rani because she's not fighting a war. But she's a go-getter like Jhansi.
So, very true. Very, very true. So, Manju, one thing that you want her to change.
Farida, what do you want to change? This is my magic wand. What do you want?
No, you need to tell her what she needs
you that question.
That's what I'm saying, Manju. You need to tell what she needs to change.
Okay, apart from being very friendly and cool, I've seen Farida a little stiff at times with a new crowd. And she needs to drop 2 shades of the stiffness.
Only 2, Manju?
It's enough. Nowadays, it's better to shut up with a lot of people or be quiet, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So she can drop 2 shades to 3 shades and be a little more... see, she is cool. You know that. I know that.
Yeah.
But the other person who's come new, she gets stiff sometimes. Okay. This has nothing to do with character. This is like, we can just put some ice cubes on her back and say, now relax, Farida.
So I think she takes her time to she takes her time with people. But once she knows you and you're in her circle of friends, I think she just goes all out for you. I've seen that, right?
Definitely.
So something you need to drop now is being so stiff, as Manju calls it.
But not always.
Not always?
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I started off my conversation at the start of the program, where I said people who don't know Farida find her not very approachable, but people who know her know who she is. So I think, is that a part of your conscious branding that you have, Farida, for yourself?
See, what happens is, again, I would attribute it to the industry that I am in, Nandita.
Yeah.
See, because it's a very close circle. There are only a very few people connected to the Chennai fashion industry.
True.
People can misread you. I mean, initially I was much more friendly than this, and I've learned through experience. Sometimes,
Okay.
it can get you into trouble. So I
Okay.
need to be friends with all of them, and I would like to keep a very cordial and comfortable relationship with all. Sometimes it is better to be silent. I've learned that over a period of time. But I'm an introvert, basically. That is also my character. You have to, peel my layers to actually get to me. It is not a conscious effort anymore. Now I've grown and experienced a lot of things. So I try to understand people, observe them, and I'm looking for longer relationships. I am approachable. I am not talkative. There is a difference. I'm not very talkative, but I am definitely approachable. I don't want people to think that I'm not approachable.
She definitely
And
is
mind
calm. I
you,
would add on
mind
this.
you, for sure, I'm taking your advice now. Like two shades of less.
That's enough. And I think a deep thing I would know about Farida, many people don't read to bed. They would like to see their Facebook, Instagram, and things like that. Farida reads herself to bed, so that comes from a real old school of thought, which is really nice. To have someone to read and sleep, I think is great because you're not in an addiction of social media. And you're reading yourself. Farida, come on, you give me 1 star for this now. Not everyone knows this about you.
Yeah, this is something I've not shared with many also. I have a big, big love for books. I keep reading, whether it is fiction, non-fiction. I would read even the newspaper which used to come rolled up. Something comes to my house, I will not even leave that. I will read what is there. So I have this kind of an obsession with reading. So, and I'm very happy that both my children got into it. Both my children read a lot, and my daughter is writing poems right now. So,
Yes, you should.
I think somewhere that has been good.
That's nice.
Thank
So,
you.
one thing that you want to tell Manju, Farida.
I love her. She's a
Me
sweetheart.
too.
Yeah. She's a sweetheart. Believe me, we have been in connect for hardly about 1 or 2 years. We've worked together, but there seems to be a very, I don't know. I mean, it's more of a spiritual and personal connect. I haven't even spoken to her for a very long time recently. Like,
Yeah.
I think after the COVID situation, we've not even spoken to each other. But when we talk, it is like, we can share a lot. That kind of comfort. And Manju is a very warm person. Very warm person.
Wow. So thank you, Manju, for coming in and last minute stepping up and actually saying anything for Farida. I think you really meant it when you said that.
Of course,
Thank you so much for coming
Let
in.
me thank her once, Farida. Thank you so much because you're not very expressive with me, so it feels great to hear that and not feed my ego, but feed the garden of our friendship. Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you, Manju. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nandita, for having me. Tata.
Pleasure was mine. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Farida, that's, people who are your friends know you in a very different light, but there are some people who you work with and they also have opinions about you. Would you agree there? And you said over a period of time, you learned empathy, right? So I have with me a person here who has worked with you in the capacity of a coach or a trainer or a consultant to FIDA for you, for both your Bangalore and Chennai branches. And I have with me a dear friend of mine, also a common friend of ours, in fact, Suresh Babu, who is here to talk about you. And Suresh is a consultant who owns One Life Academy. It's a leading coaching and consulting and training organization. And Suresh loves enhancing performances of entrepreneurs, leaders, multifold. And he does it efficiently and effectively. That's what he says. And how to implement smart systems. So I have with me Suresh. Hey, Suresh.
Hi.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's really a pleasure to be on this particular show of yours, Nandita. And good Nice to see Farida over here. And
Yes.
I had been
Hi, Suresh.
hearing and enjoying all the words, all the talks.
Thank you, Suresh. It is good to see the three of us together after, I think, 3 years.
More than that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
3 years, right?
Mumbai was the last.
Mumbai was the last, right?
Yes, yes.
And for our viewers, we were hearing this word Mumbai very often. After Suresh's incident, I'm going to tell you what happened in Mumbai, right? Farida, are you ready for me disclosing what happened in Mumbai?
Your choice, Nandita.
So she will say, this is your show.
Okay. No, okay, Suresh, you have worked, you've known Farida as a co-participant or as trainers and as, participants of a training program.
Co-learners, yes.
Co-learners of a program, and that's where the three of us were together. In addition to that, you've also worked with Fida. So you've seen Farida in the capacity of not only a learner, but also as a person who came as an entrepreneur to help her increase her business turnovers or, set up processes and systems for her. So how was the journey in that capacity?
The journey was definitely great. As a matter of fact, just let us go from where it started. That learnings from that Mission to Million session in Mumbai, and becoming her mission statement and living that mission every single day. It speaks of volumes of her persistence and getting it done come what may. She had been living her mission, which I had been observing, and probably that is the reason even I am honored to be partnering in terms of making things happen. So as we work on the business, Jenny had been great and she's absolutely coachable. That does not mean she will accept things just like that. She really pushes back and tries to see why, what, how, and that had been a good partnership, because coaching is all about both hands coming together. It's not consulting where you say and they listen. So that way it was very good, and more than that, the basic intent of taking the services is the amount of love she has got for her own team. The team is becoming better. The amount is being invested on team's betterment. That itself talks a lot. So these are a couple of things which come as a professional element. And one more thing I would like to say, I had been hearing, if I have to use one word in terms of the way I know her, the dignity which she carries along with her.
Beautiful.
She ensures people behave with her the way she wants them to behave, whether it is children who are just 17, 18 years, or they are the consultants or the anybody like that. That's something I love.
So she commands it, right?
Again, that's what it's not about. She ensures it comes. That's it.
So Farida, how do you do that?
I think I'm born with it. No, I mean, I'm very honored to hear such words from Suresh with his kind of experience with Microsoft and big companies and all that. And, for me to interact with him, with my team, we've been learning a lot. See, I'm a lifelong learner. It's like that, I mean, I always am learning. So learning to be, dignified, I'm not too sure what exactly he's mentioning about, because I never heard anyone say that before. So yeah, I would take the compliment. Thanks.
I like the way you just accept it and it's over. Okay. You said dignified, or dignity is something that she ensures. You didn't say command, but it comes naturally, and she ensures people give it to her. So, how different was she when she was working with you as her coachee, or you working as a coach, vis-a-vis you being a co-participant with her in a training program? Did you see any difference, or did you find any similarities there?
You are making me like recall those days. We were all co-learners. We were co-learners. So it was definitely fun. We had been waiting to learn to become better, and all of us, I think, in that room were people who wanted to make our learnings reflect on somebody's life and make this place a better place. So we are all learning at the same time. We were students. So very frankly, I should say I really don't recall as something very different, because that time we were all students together in campus. It was like that. And when it comes to the coaching and the consulting and all that, that relationship and that friendship is always there, where we were very easy. It was easy to work with. But when it comes to the deliverables and the profession and all that, it was absolutely professional.
So what was the most challenging part working with her?
That's a good question. The most challenging part
you're a good coach.
Thank you.
That's a good question.
The most challenging part was, actually, I should call it as, it has got two side effects, okay?
Sure.
Her ambition and the way she wants to take things forward, grow, and her confidence that systems will be supportive, people will be supportive, things will be supportive, very, very optimistic.
Okay.
So from there, it is always good. It's the fuel. But end of the day, I am here with a responsibility to make it happen. So I have to sometimes make her get grounded. At the same time, it should not sound like pessimistic.
Okay.
So those were some very interesting situations where we had to work, and I had to go with a lot of preparation, because otherwise it will sound as if I'm not encouraging, which I'm supposed to. At the same time, ground reality is ground reality. And, we were always looking at how we can take it. So that is one thing which comes. Otherwise, it was very easy to work, not only with her. The way she positioned me and introduced me with her team was good. It was nice. It is nice still going on.
Beautiful. One thing that you want Farida to change about herself?
This, Farida, please wait to catch something very surprising, okay?
Okay.
So when I had been interacting with her, when I had been hearing about things and all that, suddenly sometimes I realized it has happened like a couple of pattern. She believes people very easily. Okay, and she gives away. And that does not come from her personality or the way she behaves. But when I was peeling the onion and looking at, there were few of the incidents where she could have played very carefully. She would have been not so vulnerable to what she saw or what she heard. Because as an entrepreneur, end of the day, it is not the money what we make. We have such expenditure. We have to pay people. We have to take care of things and also book profits, so that we can do much more for the society. So when you are not in a position to do because you slip in one or two things, it's only from the business and financial front. Okay. So those things, I want her to be a bit cautious and be more strong and direct. This is one thing I would like to see, because I see huge potential. And brandify is a nice word, and I'm thankful to make me come onto this call. Very soon you will see Farida in the nice circuits of women entrepreneurs of India.
She is already there.
In a big way, where people should look at her, look up to her, and take it forward.
Sure. So you know what he's talking about, Farida.
I understood what he's talking about.
See, we all do, but we should be conscious. See, everything is a learning in life. And okay.
How I spoke about dreaming big, and things have to be, in a big scale, a certain way, and all that. Sometimes you get carried away. And what he's saying about I am very optimistic in terms of, I started with a very big target at the beginning of the year, in spite the COVID. And Suresh literally brought down those numbers. In spite of us being in a COVID, my admission numbers, what I was expecting from my team, was not, I mean, what we can do during the COVID times. So Suresh had to coach me and bring me down a little.
And you
and
heard
the,
it
and
to
the,
him.
and the beauty is, in spite of COVID, we had been continuously working, and the
Yes.
team climate is good. The amount of comfort she gave to her team, never they were concerned or felt security about the job or something like that. And she was always approachable, both professional and the personal life front. And these are the things this situation calls for.
Yeah.
And we sailed through the toughest trough, and now is our game starts.
I'm sure you will rock. She will rock with you by her side. I think I don't see Farida not reaching, like you said, to the big league. She is there in Chennai. People know her. But yes, I think the international platform, I always believe, waits for her, right? So she has carved a niche for herself, and beautiful friend to have, trust me. So thank you so much, Suresh, for coming in. And it is a pleasure
Pleasure.
having you on the show with us. Okay.
Thank you, Suresh.
Yes. Yes, Farida. Something
Yes.
about you which nobody knows.
Okay. Why would I tell that now?
Because you want people to get inspired by you, share your inner self so that people say, oh, this is Farida, I can learn from her. Go ahead, Farida.
Okay. Something that I have learned as a woman entrepreneur, we come from a society where women are expected to balance their home as if they're not working and work as if they don't have a house. So balancing between the two was the toughest thing I learned, believe me. And I would say, like anybody who is into business or are working outside, have a great support team. Like, it could be your maids, your drivers, your aunt, somebody who is there to take care of your children when you're away, or somebody to support you when you're not around. I think having a good support system, it could be your friends, like Lavya Hema. She's like, they are there for me. I know when I'm down, I can have a talk with them. You need to have a support system. I think that is very important. This is something I learned over a period of time. I have my own support system, and they are there with me. So, and that did not come easy. Okay, believe me, there was a time, I used to take my husband along with me to New York and London and all that, just for him to see what exactly happens in a fashion show. So
Okay. Yes, you shared that with me. Yes, I remember that.
seriously, it's like, educating people about what you're doing, so that, there is no misunderstanding. You can very easily get carried away. There are so many things happening backstage: nudity, drugs, whatever. That is the reality of what fashion is.
True.
So you need to make sure people understand, at least your spouse understands what you do. You would have seen my husband with me in the front rows of shows or events and all that. He's always there to support me. So having a good support system is something I really am happy with, but it did not come easy. It has to be built. You have to keep working on it.
I like what you said. You have to work on it. It's not
You
easy.
have to keep working on it. It's like, it's a give and take. What you give, what you take. I think, and it is very important, if you intend to do something in life and you want to reach somewhere, you have your dreams, you need to get your support system.
Beautiful. I remember we discussing a lot of times, like the cook is not. Then I remember you telling me, so just order from outside. And I said, I love this girl because every time I say, cook is not coming, oh, somebody will tell me, oh, make something easy at home or a single dish kind of thing. And here Farida will always say, just order from outside, take it easy. Why do you, stress yourself out? So I agree with you.
Delegating is something you have to learn.
Yes.
When you're a perfectionist, you don't let others do anything. So it's like very important to delegate work and find
So are
somebody
you a
to delegate it with.
perfectionist,
Farida? Not exactly. What happens is when you become a perfectionist, then you get very less done.
Yeah.
The number of things you can get done.
True.
I've learned Mahatria, my guru, has taught me that, get things done, delegate. Even if a person is able to achieve 70% of what you could have done, delegate it. Things that can't be delegated is like, spending time with your family, traveling alone, exploring your life, spending time, spirituality, prayers, all that has to be done only by ourselves. But of course, you can get a third party to do a lot of other things.
Okay, that's nice. So, Farida, I would like to share something about you. You say you love travel, and I remember we being in Bombay together for that whole, and I want to bring that Bombay thing. So I want to share a different side of Farida to most of you. So most of us, and I've known Farida for good number of 5 to 6 years now. And in fact, I remember she's sitting in a training program next to my daughter, and she comes back and tells me, there's a 15-year-old girl in the training program. You might, see how young people are also attending. And I laugh because I said that 15-year-old who's sitting in the training program is my daughter. So she came to know about my daughter, and we traveled to Bombay together for a training program for 3 days. And one fine evening, we said, okay, one day was your son's birthday. I remember his 18th birthday. I remember very well. And we all had gone out and, celebrated that. But more importantly, the next day we said, okay, we just need a break because we had classes from 8 in the morning to 9 at night. And we were just, and we decided to go out and have a couple of us just go out and have dinner. And we got lost. And all of us, there's apparently the same name. There are 2 restaurants in Bombay in 2 different areas. And one cab went to the other one. Farida, me and another girl, we were in another cab and we reached another hotel, a restaurant. And both of us were frantically calling each other what to do, one group to the other. And Farida just very calmly says, can we just order food and enjoy? I remember that. Why don't you sit there and eat and we'll sit here and eat? I still remember that. And I was like, but I think we had an amazingly good time under the moonlight having dinner that night.
Oh, it was beautiful.
It was beautiful. So I really loved it. Even in such a situation where we were just trying to find out, Farida said, उनको वहीं खाने दो, हम यहाँ खा लेते हैं. So it was very nice. I still remember that. And I think that is a joke even today when I meet that other group, they always say, you guys ate without us kind of thing. So yes, it is all about setting your priorities right, knowing what you want to do and just going ahead and doing it. So Farida, I come to the last part of the session now, which is a rapid fire round.
Oh, okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Is it a hamper?
I have a hamper, yes. And I'll come personally and give it to you at your store. I really need to come there also, yeah. So the rapid fire round starts now. The first question is, Farida Khan in 3 words.
I would say strong, deep, passionate.
One song or quote that represents your life.
I'm not too sure whether you understand Tamil exactly.
You can say that for the others.
Yes,
go ahead.
There is a very old song by MG Ramachandran, the ex-chief minister. It's called Unnai Arindal, Ni Unnai Arindal, Ulagatil Poradalam, Uyandalum, Tarndalum, Thalai Vanangamal, Ni Vazhalam. Okay, I'll just tell you what it means.
Yeah, you need to tell me also, yes.
If you know who you are, then you could live a better life. So I think most importantly, you should know what you are. It's very important. I mean, I'm sorry I didn't do justice to those words, but it has a very strong impact on me right from when I was very young. So
beautiful. I think as long as you understand it and you can take it to your...
And I'm sure some people who are watching would definitely understand that.
Yeah, except for me, a lot of them would understand. Yeah. What is the one regret that you have in life?
Okay, now that's been on my mind for a very long time, that I have been having a big struggle losing weight.
I've heard that before, Farida.
Okay, one thing is probably I have not worked on it enough, and I'm healthy. It's just that and I'm very comfortable in my own the way I am. But I would want to go back to what I was. So I've always
Okay.
been this thin and tall, like no, I mean, so I miss that. That'd be my one regret. Yeah.
Okay. One thing you want to change about yourself.
Change about myself. Nothing as of now. As I told you, because it's taken a very long time for me to find myself, what I
Mhm.
am,
Hmm.
and I don't think I would want to change anything at all. Seriously, I mean, I don't know. It might. I don't know how you understand it, but I really don't
Oh,
want to change
nice.
anything in myself. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's nice. That just shows how comfortable you are in your own skin. Okay, Farida, the owner of Akab,
Hmm.
Farida, the lady behind Fida. Choose one.
Hmm.
And of course, the new venture, which is into shared
Yeah.
space. This I'm not going to
Yeah.
get that deep right now, but between Fida and Akab, choose one.
Fida has been my baby for a longer time. Akhab was an additional a little later, but Fida is something I have been for the past 12 years. I have lived it, I have breathed it, I have brought it up. Like, I mean, Fida is like all the children at Fida are my kids. Like, I feel very passionate about it.
Beautiful.
So, I'm first a educationist, and I love all my children. So that's more close to me. But Akhab is a way forward for us to see more designers here in India, because Indian fashion, I think, has a great opportunity right now, and I think East is better than the West in terms of fashion, traditional textiles, everything. So much more to explore. So,
Okay. Your favorite pastime, apart from reading books?
mm, Okay, I have to tell you this. Whenever
Yeah.
I have too much work, what I
Uh,
do is close all my emails,
uh,
go to any of these travel websites, and
uh.
watch blogs of travelers. So that's my favorite pastime. I love watching travel blogs.
Are you
I do
planning
that
to write one?
just to take my mind off.
Okay.
Travel blogging. Okay, now I mean my travel experiences have been something very quiet, where I go to places. I travel a lot all by myself. I travel. I do travel a lot, so I don't want any disturbance there. It's not for others to see. It is for my own happiness. So blogging might not be my cup of tea.
Okay.
No.
The legacy that you want to leave behind, Farida.
A lot and a lot more women
Hmm.
being financially independent, and I want to inspire them to be confident women. I mean, where they can call the shots, they can tell what they want, they can choose how they want to live.
Beautiful.
I want to inspire a lot of them to do that.
I think you do inspire a lot of your students and even otherwise women around you with the way you give advice, the way you talk. You are an inspiration to many, I'm sure.
Thank
So,
you.
all the best to you, Farida. It was a pleasure talking to you,
Oh,
as
it was
always.
so lovely, Nandita. We've always had beautiful chats. I think whenever I've spent time with you, we've had very long conversations, and even today it felt like one of those. Believe me,
Thank
I mean, it was not, though there are a lot of other people watching, I felt it was just a friendly banter between us all. Thank you for making it so beautiful, and it was a lovely experience. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Farida. Take care. See you soon.
Bye. Good
Bye
night.
bye. Good night.